is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, next to me is a reproduction of Don Quixote. Now it's bronze, I think. I picked it up in Mexico many years ago when I was doing a lot of traveling for General Motors. And that was in another life. So Don Quixote is a story about a knight errant who was doing good deeds to earn the right of being knighted. And man, did he have a lot of problems. And I also enjoyed the musical of Man from La Mancha, which was a takeoff from the stories of and adventures of Don Quixote. And he ended up going a little nuts, and because he had a lot of money, and a lot of people wanted his money, so they helped him out of his money by insisting that he was out of his mind for all the things that he was doing and the way he was doing it. So a lot of times people think you're nuts for what you're doing. And I sometimes have the same feeling, looking through the illusion and trying to recognize how distorted our view of the world is. And we call it, and I call it, the egoic world. In other words, what we think we're living in is a world based on ego. And we've talked a little bit about ego in the past, and I'll try to find a reference information for that and put it up over here, so you can look at that if you want. Also, the title of this video is "Don't Look at This Video" if you want to stay in the illusion. Because we're going to look at an aspect of the illusion and try to make some sense out of it so that you will recognize that you're in an illusion. Now, we talked about a lot of things, and I'm going to reference particularly around the direction that we're going to be going now, reference some of those other videos so that you can see the tie-in between them all. We have the belief in the illusion that the outside, what is outside of us, is controlling or manipulating or causing us to react on the inside. So the belief in the egoic world is that the outside is affecting the inside, that the outside is real and the inside is our imagination. And so it has to be real on the outside. So now we're going to look at the body. And I'm going to suggest, and I want you to think about it, that the body does not and cannot experience the outside world in any way. Now that deserves to be repeated. The body is not affected by the outside in any way. The body has no facility in and of itself to experience the outside environment in any way. Oh, that's a brave statement. It's so counterintuitive to life in the illusion. So let me go into a little bit of explanation. Now we've done this looking at how the body responds to pain. And I'll have some references, but basically I have said the body does not feel pain. Not from the outside. Not from the outside effect. Whatever it is, cold or hot, doesn't matter. Getting cut or having a pain, one of the videos we did was about having your finger caught on a thorn or on a hot stove. The action is there, but the body does not respond to the outside event in any way. So what happens when the outside has interaction with the body? Basically, the body does not know it. The body. What does know it? The nervous system. The nervous system which carries information from the interacted area with the outside to the mind, brain, and central nervous system. And then those signals through the nervous system is interpreted inside of us. And we're not really sure if it is interpreted inside or in some other location. And then that mind, brain, and central nervous system, based upon the past, determines if the signals are worthwhile to investigate based upon our past experiences. So the past and our past experiences determine how we're going to interpret the interaction with the outside world and not the body. All interaction with the body is determined by the mind, brain, and central nervous system. If it is important, based upon our past, then those signals are responded to by telling the body with another signal telling the body how to respond to the finger on the stove, or on a thorn, or on a getting your thumb pinched in a door, someone stepping on your foot, or whatever else affects against the body from the outside. So the outside has no effect on the body, and the body will not respond until it has a signal from the mind as to the gradient of the interaction with the outside. Now, I know you're thinking, well, that's kind of convoluted. I know my body can feel when it gets its thumb pinched in a door. The body knows it. The body doesn't know it. The body does not know anything except from signals from the mind, the brain, and through the central nervous system. It is all determined by your past. And your past is only memories. Now, we've had several videos on that, and I hope they're clear. Now, if they're not, send me a question of where it isn't clear, and I'll see if I can clarify it. Now, why am I making such a point of the fact that the body does not interface with the outside world in any way? Everything happens in the mind first, and then the body responds. The body is a servant of the mind. And in the illusion, we think we're our body. We think the body is the most important thing. And we don't recognize the interconnection between the mind and the body. The mind, which has all of your information in it, information, and the body, which is neutral, which only responds to the mind. And I'll put several videos that we talk. Now you might have your own understanding of that, and I'd be interested to know what your understanding is, and you're entitled to it. But from my point of view, the body does not interface with the outside world directly in any way. Everything must go through the mind, brain, and central nervous system. And it does it very, very quickly. So quickly that you believe on a conscious level that the body is interacting with the outside world, rather than recognizing it is interacting with the mind. So quickly is the response of the mind, the subconscious mind, the central nervous system, and the brain. So fast Now, in other videos, we talked about how fast that operates. Millions to billions of bits of information per second. And then we have the conscious mind. And in other videos, we've talked about the conscious mind operating at a maximum. And this was a surprise. A maximum of 100 bits of data per second. So your sensory input through the central nervous system and the actions of the subconscious mind are operating millions to billions of bits of data per second compared to the conscious mind. So when you get information in your central nervous system from the outside of the interaction of your nervous system with the outside environment through your senses, and you do that so quickly, and the information is sent back to the body how to respond. Now, in the past, we said, oh, the body responds so quickly, it has muscle memory. Muscles don't have memory. The only memory is in the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the slowest, I'll say that again, slowest part of the whole process. And so we believe the conscious mind is telling us that the body is reacting to the outside environment. Now, if you get that fact, now we can step forward and talk about your illness and sickness. If the body becomes ill or sick, it's responding to the mind. So I'll say that again. If your body becomes ill or sick, this is particularly true with illnesses that go on, or sicknesses that go on for a long time. Chronic pain. It's in the mind. It's an interpretation in the mind, and then signals are sent to the body, and the body responds. And the conscious mind will tell you that it is the body that is sick, because you believe you're your body. And you don't understand that in the illusion, you are responding to the mind. So if you want to heal your illness, your sickness, your pain and suffering, you must change the mind, and the body will follow. But in the illusion, we say, oh, the mind is sick. The body is sick. Heal the body, and you'll feel better in the mind. So there's a diversity here. either the outside world affects how you feel inside, or the inside creates the outside. This is a dualistic world that we live in. And I want you to begin to recognize everything is in the mind first, including your pain and suffering, your illness and sickness. And if you want to heal, have to heal the mind. Now, Course in Miracles is very clear on this. And it's part of the wisdom within the Course. Only the mind can be sick. And only the mind needs to be healed. Now, I know you're going to talk about pathogens, and you're going to talk about viruses, and you're going to talk about a lot of things. And oh yes, they are there. But they are less important when the mind is healed, when the past is released, and you forgive yourself. Self-forgiveness is part of the process of healing the mind. So give that some thought. And as Don Quixote found out, well, he didn't, because he had a heck of a beginning and a heck of an ending. You are not your mind. You are much grander than your mind. And when you heal the mind, the grandeur that you are becomes more apparent to you. Be gentle with yourself. You're in an illusion of your own making. And the way out is through healing the mind, through self-forgiveness. And we'll talk more on how you do that. How do you release the past so that the present will be different? So again, be good to yourself. Have more fun with life. And let go of what you don't need from the past. Bye now.